Hey everybody, welcome back. Tonight, as you can tell, still home. Probably away for the next couple of weeks just because of the time of year that it is at work. A lot of big stuff coming up in the works as far as future projects. But right now, as mentioned in my last video, things work-wise, it's kind of a lot of people are needed at home to work on trainings and other types of things as well. Oh, that's interesting. So, I'm home for the next couple of weeks anyway, which isn't always a bad thing. So tonight's products I'm going to be using, first off we're going to start off with the ever classic Cube pre-shave soap from Fine Accoutrements. And the soap I'm going to be using is one that I believe is no longer being made. It's one that I got when I was first new into wet shaving. And I heard that they have kind of closed down the shop. So we're just going to get the pre-shave here worked in a little bit, and then we'll discuss the soap. Yeah, that stuff gets super slick when it's wet. Alright, so I got the pre-shave kind of applied here. Just kind of, if you've never used the Cube, it really is a fantastic product. I was a bit skeptical, in all honesty, when I heard about it. But when I was down, I kept watching a bunch of other YouTubers use it and just kind of seeing his praises. And then when I was in Phoenix visiting PAA and talking to Douglas, I saw the tube on one of his mini shelves in his shop. I figured, you know what, for the price of the tube, what the heck not? Let's go ahead and give it a shot. And used it in Arizona. Arizona has really, really hard water, at least in the area where I was. And I can't remember what soap I used it with, but it made a huge difference. So I don't use it with every shave, but I do use it if I just wanted a little extra boost, or if I'm using a mid-tier type soap. Now speaking of mid-tier, the soap I'm using tonight is one from the Shave Den. Like I said, I believe they have closed their shop on that forum. I was never actually a member of that forum, but I received this as a pretty large gift. And the scent is sandalwood. I'm not sure what's coming across. The scent itself, I'm not sure exactly how old that soap is. Like I said, I got that when I was first starting out. And even then the scent wasn't super strong. So I've had the soap for a little over a year now, and it still lathers up really, really well. You might not be able to see that sheen on that, but it lathers. And it can take some serious water. So I built my lather in the bowl like I tend to do. I'll occasionally face lather, but I prefer bowl lathering. I'm just kind of working it. That's real close to my short line there. Working it here just to get the Cube pre-shave mixed into my lather. Just so I have the benefits of the pre-shave on all passes. Man, it's getting everywhere. Now sometimes I have noticed that the Cube can take a little bit of water as well. So if you start face lathering, or if you have your soap kind of built up, already lathered, and you go and build your lather, or just paint it on, or try to work at face lathering, you'll take a little bit more soap than usual. Water, sorry, not soap. You'll take a bit more water So it's kind of like the cube itself has a little bit of water for that activation. And then it makes the soap a little bit thirstier, which isn't a bad thing. It just helps improve the slickness of the soap. All right, so there we have our, that was nice, that was easy. Now I did use the chill mill, also from PAA, because I've been on a fairly decent menthol kick lately. I'm really liking those cold shaves. They're just thoroughly enjoyable, especially here in the summers. Now, as you saw, the brush I'm using is Soothsayer from Craving Shaving with a 26mm Duro synthetic knot. It's a synthetic boar hair knot, and it is my favorite synthetic knot that I've tried. Granted, I haven't tried a whole lot. Whipped it up in my Captain Choice copper bowl, and the razor I'm using tonight is the Fine Accoutrements Marvel. This razor is currently on loan to me from a good friend of mine, Charles Bullock, over at Craving Shaving, and I let him use my Game Changer, the 0.8, what is it, a 0.84 gap that he just did a video on yesterday, I believe. I'll go ahead and put a link to his video in the description below. Now I'm using a Persona Lab Red, I think, in the blue British packaging. So it's reds, I don't know. But that's my go-to blade for a DE. One thing I like about the Marvel razor, is that it's very easy to find the angle and just kind of keep it. The head geometry just makes it so it just sits and you just kind of sit it and forget it. It's wonderful like that. It has a pretty aggressive blade gap, but there's zero blade fill on this. I think Charles was saying that there's like it's a 0.92 or 0.94 gap. I could be wrong. If you know exactly what it is, put it in the comments below. But it does a fine, no pun intended, job at just being mild, just very enjoyable. One thing I have noticed though is that it does tend to clog a little easier than some. So you have to rinse it off a little more often. Which, that's kind of splitting hairs. Good feedback too. And the knurling on this handle, and this handle is just beefy. I like this handle a lot. In fact, I love to just get the handle itself to use on other razors, and I don't think Marvel just sells the handle, regretfully. But I'm kind of at the point where, do I really need another DE? Especially when I shave mostly with single edge razors. And it is warm in this room in here. And I'm trying something a little different with the light. Hopefully the lighting's not as bad. Probably pretty bad when I lean in. And you get to clear off the old forehead here. And again, tonight I told myself grab a hat. Or at least a do-rag or something, and stupid me forgot. So, all right, there's pass one. Really, really nice. The scent is almost non-existent, but again, that could be because due to the amount of time that I've had this soap. But I don't recall it being super strong to begin with. Performance isn't bad. Of course, it is being boosted by the use of the cube. And it's not a bad performer anyway. It's not top tier, at least in my opinion, but it's definitely serviceable. I don't know who made the soap. Like I said, it's been discontinued. But I've heard it's the same, or I don't want to say any artisans' names. Just in case my information is 100% correct. But when I first heard about the soap, it was on a forum when I was, as I mentioned, really, really new, and someone was talking about it, and a lot of people just kind of sounded off, just went off on this poor individual who mentioned this soap. They were saying that the individual who made it was taught by another artisan how to make soap. They stole the formula and went off and did their own brand. Whether, you know, if that's true or not, don't know, it doesn't really matter. But my take on that is, if you're going to teach someone to make soap and give them your formula, why would you be surprised if they take your formula and make their own soap? I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand why that individual was surprised. But either way, that's neither here nor there. That's not the topic of this shave. The Fine Marvel, I love this handle. And it's really easy to find that angle, just kind of set it and forget it. It's almost mindless. I kind of liken this to using an injector. And I only have one injector. I have the Schick Type G. And that's a mild yet efficient razor. It's kind of one of those, like, you know, you put if you've ever used the Schick G, you know, it's a bit more on the mild side. I tend to favor more aggressive razors. For the Type G, it's kind of like I lather up and I can just whip through the shave. I don't think about it. It's almost as like using a cartridge as far as how it feels. Well, not really feels, but, you know, kind of set it and forget it. Which, if you're in a hurry, you know, if you shave in the morning and you're in a rush to get out the door, that's awesome. But, and I'm also someone that shaved with the Merkur Future daily. I know a lot of people say that's insane. Not a bad. And there's no overhang, or there is overhang on this, just a little bit there. It's not bad at all. It's pretty noticeable, even under the nose, right there. It's not bad at all. No complaints about that. Quick semi-rinse off. Cold water. I love it when it hits that menthol and just kicks in. really liking menthol lately. I'll probably even finish this off with some gel afterwards just to keep that cooling effect going. It's not even that hot. It's kind of starting to cool down a little bit here. So most of the shave was made possible by Charles. He generously gave me the chill mill. He bought the version 2 because he wanted the adjustable feature and preferred the artwork or the original version. He made this brush, which I mean, I have 3 of his brushes now, and I love my little Chop Shop travel brush. I use that even when I'm home for a little bit of time. Like I am now, I use that quite extensively here at home. And my German-themed brush that I have finally named. Oh wow, tons of leather left over. Tons of leather. I named that brush Fernweh, or for those that don't speak German, Wanderlust. Because every time I look at it and use it, I want to go back to Germany. And then of course, this is his Fine Marvel razor. He is also loaning me a straight razor to see if I like that method of shaving. Now it may not be the sharpest straight out there. And he even said it could probably stand to be sharpened. But it's not bad. Ooh, this is getting really cold. This is getting nice and cold. This is awesome. Man, this is a set it and forget it. I should say that this is my 3rd use on this razor. I did use, the first time I used it, well, both times I did it off camera. And I shaved my face, had plenty of lead left over to shave my head. And used it last night. Although last night I did take a couple swipes with the straight razor. And then tonight, did I get myself? Here I am talking about how you can just set it and forget it, and I got myself a little bit. I don't know if that was a blade or if that was the overhang. Either way, small little weeper, not a big deal. But tonight, because I wanted to do, not really a review, because I don't do reviews. I want to do kind of like my impressions. Oh, dang, I got myself there again too. Freaking Adam's apple, man. That gets me. But I am enjoying this shave. It does feel very mild yet efficient. And that's always the troll spot right there. I just do a quick little cleanup. I'll probably do my head off camera because I have plenty of lather here. And there's my youngest. Let's see if he settles down. right now it is just me and him home. My wife took a last minute trip to Florida for the weekend, and my two oldest are going out and hanging out with their grandparents, my parents, tomorrow and Sunday. Really, really nice shave. So the Fine Marvel is not a bad razor. Pair it with a decent blade. And granted, I got two little tiny weepers on my Adam's apple there, but that was a very nice shave. Very enjoyable, very quick. I mean, I'm at 21 minutes now, but kind of where I seem to average out is about 21, 22 minutes. But very, very nice. Just do a quick cold water rinse. Then I should probably cut this so I can go take care of my kid. Maybe touch a little bit right here. He might be calming down. Or not. That's the thing about the cube, is you can just go what you're facing on residual slickness. So anyway, for my final thoughts with the Fine Accoutrements Marvel double-edged, this is a fantastic little razor. Because of the geometry of the head, it is kind of a set it and forget it, just go. You can shave very quickly with your passes. I'm using a pretty dang sharp blade in here, and I just got myself a little bit twice and it was going pretty quick. It is a very nice razor. I love the size and feel of this handle. The knurling on there is just beautiful. Feels light in the hands, and it's just very nice to use. I look forward to using this as often or while I have it in my possession. And I want to thank Charles for letting me borrow this wonderful little razor. And I believe, I'm sure you know other places, but I've seen them at like West Coast Shaving. I'm not sure if Maggards carries them. I'm sure Maggards does, or any other retailers that you go to get your shaving items. But anyway, I'm gonna go take care of my kid. Hope you all have a fantastic day, evening, weekend, whatever it is that you watch this, and I'll catch you guys later.